Well, it's one coming down that House of Decline. It's a House of Decline, and what you're going to want to do is head on over to patreon.com/House of Decline. That's HAUS of Decline. For as little as $3 a month, you get 30 extra comics. For $5 a month, you get 30 extra comics and 4 extra podcasts. And there's so many tiers. We got more tiers than our two-tiered healthcare system, because there's only 2 tiers in that. We got like 5. So if you're worried about falling beneath the cracks, don't, because we got so many tiers to cover you. Even at the lowest tiers, you've got Universal Comics. There used to be private comics industry, but these are Universal Comics, Universal Comic Care, we call it. And, you can get that as little for as $3 a month because, it's shared amongst a large group of people. So it's more efficient. This makes sense. Patreon.com/House of Decline. Go there right now. And we're going to start off the episode. We have Steven here, of course, as always.
Hi, I just wanted to add that on the Patreon, we have so many tiers. We have more tiers than Tears for Fears.
They had a lot of tiers,
and they had many tiers. They had 4 actually. Yeah. They had 4 tiers in the Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because they had 4 fears as well. Their fears were, of course, people wanting to rule the world, shouting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name all the fears of Tears for Fears.
Said world turning into a mad world.
Yeah.
And then having a pale shelter. And those were the 4 fears of Tears for Fears. We have a very special guest on our show today. We have Jay.
Hey, guys.
Jay, you're back.
Obama promised me that if I liked my comics, I could keep my comics, though.
Yeah, you're on Comic Cobra.
Yeah, actually, it also reminds me, when I first moved to Montreal, I was at a bar, and there was a band that was called Squirrel Jam. And they were all dressed as giant squirrels, and they just did parody songs where they changed the word of one word in a song to squirrel. So they did "It's a Mad Squirrel."
Material Squirrel?
Material Squirrel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's so I really feel like they have a lot of potential with a Tears for Fears squirrel-based cover band.
Has any novelty band really ascended past its roots? Like, I guess Gwar is the only example, but they're not really a novelty band because they're not, like, based on one joke. There are just, like, bands that are one joke, like that Black Sabbath McDonald's cover band called Mac Sabbath, or that Ned Flanders metal band O Killy Do Killy.
Yeah, or the Pizza Underground.
The Pizza Underground, which had legs because, of course, it's superstar frontman in Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I went to the after party of that concert.
Oh, did you meet Mac? Did you meet Mac Culkin?
No, I didn't meet Mac.
Oh, no.
But I went with a friend of the pod, Jeremy.
Good old Jeremy.
Wow, you mean famous journalist?
Famous journalist, friend of the pod, Jeremy.
He's consistently sued journalist.
Yeah,
Jeremy Appel.
He's popping off. He's being quote tweeted by like famous people, and his Twitter is blowing up. Go check him out. Check out Big Shiny Takes podcast.
Big Shiny Takes, and what's his Substack called? The Apple Orchard? The Appel Orchard?
The Appel Orchard, yeah.
It is a delicious pun.
Yeah, no, he's a really smart guy, and you should check him out.
He's getting the right people mad at him. Like the food professor. The food professor. Yeah. So this might be very specific to Canada. It is very specific to Canada, but we got a few food concerns in Canada. One of them is Loblaws, owned by the Weston family. I think they're the second richest next to the Thompsons in Canada. The second biggest billionaires, all of this food empire, and prices have been skyrocketing. Eggs, chicken, forget about it. You're going for like $30 an egg now.
Well, see, I think I know your problem. See, in America, what we do is we use child laborers, and we don't have to pay them very much.
Oh yeah, that story came out of all the child laborers that are being used in the egg professions, and like how Ben and Jerry's uses child laborers as well.
It's in the food industry.
Ben
like
Jerry.
Cheerios are being packaged by child laborers. Whole Foods, food, a lot of food from Whole Foods is being packaged by child laborers. All of these different giant food companies. Story just came out in the Times. It's like migrant child laborers. So Canada probably doesn't do that, and so you probably have a lot of expensive labor costs that you could be.
No, we do that. You should look up Leamington, Ontario, if you want our version of.
Yeah, you should look at our temporary foreign worker program. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Is
there's a
that,
documentary called El Contrato, where if you want to feel bad about Latino people being abused
but in Canada?
yes, in Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and isn't like, I'm convinced that Pete Buttigieg is still involved in this somehow. No, not because. Yeah, because wasn't he like part of the like bread scandal in Canada?
He was part of the allegedly as part of McKinsey. He was part of the bread price fixing scandal.
He's like all up in Loblaws. He's like sucking Galen Weston's dick behind his husband's back.
Yeah, then he's feeling ashamed about it, and he's going, wrong, you're wrong. I don't know if you ever saw that Buttigieg documentary, but there's some very funny moments in it where it's like, when I had to come to grips with being gay, I hated myself. I wanted to kill the gay man in me. I wanted to murder the gay. He keeps going like very strange, violent self-hatred rants about himself. But anyway, Galen Weston, they have this weird propagandist who works at Dalhousie or something, some professor called the food professor. And the food professor keeps saying, actually, this is why shoplifting overpriced stuff is bad. He says a lot of academically endorsed propagandistic stuff in favor of the Weston monopoly. And so Jeremy's been, quote tweet dunking on him and getting some pretty good dunks on him, too. I think to the point where he got threatened with legal action. Yeah.
The food professor threatened to sue him.
Yeah.
I think by maybe using some, law professors or something.
Those famous Dalhousie law professors. We're getting the cream of the crop.
And to be a lawyer in Canada, don't you have to wear like a wig or something?
Yeah, you have. Well, you don't have to wear. You have to wear a robe with
you have to wear
fancy
Harry Potter
little
robes.
ascot. Yes. And our Supreme Court looks like Mrs. Claus. All of them dressed like not Santa Claus, but Mrs. Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was looking up Mrs. Claus. It's a fascinating history.
What were you looking up about Mrs. Claus?
The history. When was she invented? Or
was Santa a bachelor up until like, I don't know. It seems pretty gay. He's hanging around a bunch of little dudes in the north. What's he doing up there?
I mean, yeah. A lot of people think Santa Claus is basically invented by the Coca-Cola company. So they probably did like a focus group and they were like, Santa's coming off too gay. We need a Mrs. Claus. And
when Santa's drinking from that classic glass Coke bottle with moisture dripping down the bottle, and he's just putting it on his lips, and his big red puffy lips, people think it's a cock. So we need Santa's gash, okay? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I remember this was years ago. It's like a David Sedaris book. I think it's called Me Talk Pretty One Day, where he has a whole chapter where he just goes through different Santa Claus stories throughout like the history of the world. And I think it's the Dutch one where Santa Claus comes. And I think the funniest part about the story is that he comes with 6 to 8 black men, but it's
Zwarte Piet.
Yeah, but it's always 6 to 8. It's never like 7. It's not like definitively 6. The story is always 6 to 8 black men. They can never decide how many black men come.
Well,
with
depending
Santa.
upon availability,
It's true. Labor costs.
Sick,
and then apparently they
sickness.
Yeah, they like stick you in a sack and beat you if you're bad instead of giving you coal. And if you're only a little bit bad, then they just pretend to beat you.
We need to go back to children's literature that's like this. Children's literature is getting too, it's all Steven Universe now. We need to go back to Roald Dahl. We need colonial overtones.
Return to Oz, baby.
Yeah. Oh, man, Return to Oz is great. But that's another thing that happened recently is Roald Dahl's getting censored, which is very bizarre. Because, it's obviously just another way to wring more money out of recognizable IP. But it has the strange effect of whitewashing the past, right? Which is why everyone's up in arms about it. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't whitewash the past by taking out all the racist references in Roald Dahl.
Who are you being, Hagrid?
I'm being canceled wizard giant Hagrid now.
Dang! Even Hagrid's
Didn't he got canceled when he died too? Didn't it?
Wait, Robbie Coltrane?
Dead. Yeah.
Robbie Coltrane got canceled?
I feel like I heard people saying he got canceled. I'm like, when?
I don't know. Who knows? Who can keep track of these things now? But,
he was a giant groomer.
I bet there's some people who can keep track. Wait, so Robbie Coltrane canceled. We
missed this one on our Robbie Coltrane watch. You know, I can't believe it. We're such big Robbie Coltrane. I love Nuns on the Run. That's like my favorite movie.
Coltrane episode. You know.
Yeah, it got. You know, he's my favorite Coltrane.
I was gonna say it's my third favorite Coltrane.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, Alice Coltrane, John Coltrane, forget about it. Robbie Coltrane.
No,
okay?
yeah, he's canceled. He's canceled.
No. What did he do?
Like I think he supported J.K. Rowling.
Oh, okay. That's whatever. Luna Lovegood also support the actor that played Luna Lovegood. She's I don't like trans people. I think I don't like them. You know, in the presumably she talks that way as well in her real voice.
Because she definitely didn't talk that way in the movie. So
yeah, her name is Ivana Lynch, which is like a Simpsons crank call or something like that. Ivana Lynch, yeah, sure looks like you do.
Most Tavern here. Anybody got Ivana Lynch? Ivana Lynch here.
Mm-hmm. And then they would cancel Mo for being racist. You're canceled, Mo. See, I'm could be
looking
writing
for Amanda hug and kiss.
And that they would praise Mo now. They would say, "Thank God you're gay, Mo."
Thank God for pansexual Mo Sislak.
Yeah, he's pansexual. Are you saying he's a homo? Now we're getting to the bulk of the episode, where I'm like, I don't have sex. I'm virtually asexual. You know, I don't like shit. I don't like going outside. Steven's married and also hetero, like a fucking asshole, like some sort of fucking asshole.
Literal breeder. You're breeding people.
You guys are just jealous.
Your breeding was not produced by Steve Albini. You know, how do you justify it? Is there atmosphere?
Are you seriously bringing up Steve Albini right now?
I'm referencing the Breeders' Pod. One of my favorite
Albini came out and said he thinks Steely Dan sucks.
Oh, that's fine. You know, who cares? It's Steve Albini.
It's not fine.
You guys have spent a lot of time arguing that Steely Dan is the greatest band of all time. So I really think you need to take a hard tack on that, Alex.
No, who cares? It's music. It's the dumbest thing on earth. Ooh, apply a little notes and you feel a little sad.
Steve Albini is a guy that aspiring bands send their records to and are like, Mr. Albini, please master my record. You're like the god of all music. I respect everything you do. So his opinion has weight.
Mm-hmm. But lots of people don't like Steely Dan. I don't think he's wrong.
I don't know one other person who doesn't like Steely Dan.
Famously in the movie Knocked Up, Seth Rogen says, Steely Dan gargles my balls. Which was, a big knock back on the Steely Dan community.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to kind of where we started, which is that I'm really the only person on the pod right now who regularly gargles balls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, so there was an experience you had recently. We're going to start off with the one I've heard before, but then you've been saving a story for because it was so bizarre. Apparently, you just needed to get it out in a public forum.
Yeah, I've also got I feel like I've gotten all the purchase out of that story that I could in my private life. I think I've told everyone, so I'm like, all right, it's time to, put it up and write a new stand-up special, do a whole new hour for the next time.
Your whole new gay sex hour.
Just so everyone knows, names have been changed to protect the innocent or guilty. It's not up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
We don't know
the executioner.
These guys' names. So the first one, you met a guy online and you went to his house. This was in Toronto recently, and it was an interesting experience because he was a Disney adult.
Yeah, like a rampant Disney adult, and he didn't really I don't know. I mean, so for the people who don't use, who use other dating apps but haven't used Grindr, Grindr is really, you swipe, you have to match with other people on other apps. You have to agree that you want to talk to each other. Grindr is just everyone near you, and they can just send you as much wang as they want, whenever they want. And so this guy didn't open with wang, which is nice. But he was like, oh, have you seen this show? And I say, no, I don't have Disney Plus. I don't watch it. I haven't seen WandaVision. I haven't seen Loki. I haven't seen Obi-Wan. I haven't seen Andor. I haven't seen any of it. So that's, again, you're trying to figure out what people are into. I wasn't into it.
Mhm.
I walk into this guy's apartment, and the first thing he starts doing is explaining to me the order I need to watch all these shows in, because it's not the chronology of the shows.
Yeah.
It's the canon of the shows.
Mhm.
And like this was not a date. Like this was supposed to be like a blow and go. Like he told me to get there. He said, when you walk in the door, pull down your zipper and I'm going to start sucking you off at the door. Instead, he started talking about Andor.
Amy Sedaris is so good in Andor. Oh my god, Bill Burr. I didn't. Oh wait, she's not even in Andor. She's in Mandalorian. She's in Mandalorian.
I'm sure he saw that too.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and he keeps like putting, and I'm like, I get closer. I like try to initiate sex stuff, and he's just like, oh, did you see Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan was really good, but you have to watch Obi-Wan before Andor. But on the 5th episode, you have to switch back because that. I'm like, why is this happening to me? I just wanted some casual sex, and now I'm finding out everything. I'm like, I am convinced this guy's penis was sponsored by Disney Plus.
He could have at least, been more entertaining about it. He could have been doing like the Obi-Wan voice, and while you're sucking him off, he goes, "You cannot win, Anakin. I have the higher ground."
Yeah, I mean, he had a big old peener. Like he could have like used it as a lightsaber or something. Like get creative.
Yeah, do some. Yeah, but it's Andor, so it's about how that's actually there's fascism behind the lightsaber penis.
I guess so, but I mean, listen, like I'm not like I don't want to king shame anybody. If he need, like, I could have made like various Star Wars noises while he went down on me if that's what he needed. Like I could get him there, but like.
That's great, kid. Don't get cocky. It writes itself. You don't even have to. You don't even have to put any effort in it. Growl like Chewbacca as you're getting sucked off. Go.
That's the new Hummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear, that would be a great thing. Have bears ever done like Chewbacca night, where they're all Wookiees? They're all pretending to be Wookiees.
That would be great. I think you should pitch that.
Can you guys explain what this whole cocaine bear thing is about?
Cocaine. I know a lot about Cocaine Bear.
What's going on?
I don't know. It's a movie that is it's in the Snakes on a Plane or Dude, Where's My Car genre of movies where the entire title is the movie. The title is the entire movie, and the title is funnier than the movie could ever possibly be.
I had no idea.
Is it about an actual bear or like a gay bear?
Yeah, no, it's not a gay bear. It's about a real bear. It's based on a true story where a bunch of cocaine was dropped in the woods, and then a bear snuffed it, and then went on a rampage.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was more like a bear, like a man.
No, it wasn't. Man. It wasn't a Seth Rogen type.
Yeah, because this Disney gay I was talking about could definitely be described as a cocaine bear, because I am very convinced he was doing cocaine before I got there.
That's so funny to do.
I mean, that's kind of sweet.
And then to do Andor.
What if? Do you think he was
get obsessed with Andor?
Star
Wars is so much better on cocaine.
Nervous or something? He was nervous.
It might have been but like, I am no stranger to people having cocaine energy, and also it took him so long to answer the door, and then he just started like talking nonstop about Andor is really good and Obi-Wan, and I was like, okay, maybe have a drink first instead of several lines of cocaine. But you know what? Listen, I don't want to disparage cocaine bears. There are some people who are perfectly good cocaine bears.
Yeah, Bruce Vilanch,
Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, they don't do it all the time.
Bruce Vilanch. That as a punchline is like 90s shock jock level. That's a very good reference, Alex. Can you explain to all of our listeners under 25 who Bruce Vilanch is?
He was a flamboyant gay man that was popular in the 90s. He had long hair, he was heavyset, big beard, and big hipster glasses. And he frequently wrote for the Oscars and like big award shows. He was a joke writer.
And he was always on Hollywood Squares with Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, he was the center
Gilbert
square.
Gottfried.
Yeah. And, because, in the center square, you had to have, like, a gay man. You had to have Paul Lynde. Paul Lynde, who everyone knows.
He was the Paul Lynde, you're right.
Yeah, because everyone knows about Paul Lynde, whether they know it or not, because Roger from American Dad is just Paul Lynde.
Yeah. Actually, it's really strange. I think I mentioned this to you before, Alex, but, like, I don't know if it's, like, just my own, like, association, but I feel like every time I watch porn now, and I watch a lot of amateur porn, I like the, verisimilitude of it.
Yeah.
But every porno I watch now has American Dad. Like I can hear the vocals. Like that's what they're putting on in the background so that people don't know they're recording porn in the hotel rooms that they're doing it in. And it's always American Dad.
It's a very popular
and I haven't watched that show in years, but now like anytime I see a commercial for it, I have like this weird like association where now I just get hard.
Dun, 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 dun,
no, seriously.
Good morning, USA.
Because at the beginning it was distracting. Like I was listening past it while I was jerking off. I'm like, no, listen to the grunts. Don't listen to the theme song. And now the theme song is like, ooh, it's doing it for
me. Yeah. I'm getting all flush. It's like George Costanza.
Good morning, Wood.
Yeah. And you know, Roger's sort of like, he's gay, so that's fine.
I mean, he's just kind of a big penis, isn't
he? Yeah, that's true. Imagine taking all of Roger from American Dad and your asshole.
Well, I mean, I haven't bought him since August 2019, so that's not going to happen.
And that was the last time I bought it.
I remember so specifically that was. I remember the time. I remember the place. And
it's like True Detective season 3, where it's like Steve McQueen died. I remember there was a full moon that night. August 19th, 2019. Why do you remember that date with superior eidetic recall?
Because it was Pride, and it was a person. I was a person I knew from Toronto who was in Montreal, and he wanted to crash at my place. And it's fine. Like I've known him, and we have never had sex before. I've known him for years, and then he decides. I don't know. He puts it. We have sex. It's the worst sex I've had in my life. Like, and I've had some terrible sex. But he basically just kind of like shoves it in, thrusts 3 times, comes, and then passes out, and then doesn't wake up till 3 p.m. the next day. And I was like, dude, you could have just slept on my couch. You didn't have to give me the worst sex of my life in exchange. Like, I could have just. This is a terrible deal.
Yeah, you really can't get the old P-spot orgasm with just 3 pumps there. That's not.
No, and I was also like, it was one of the, like, you know, I did not have the idea that this man wanted to top. That is not the impression I got from him either when I thought the sex was starting.
He had bottom energy. He had
mad bottom energy.
Yeah. Which is, you know, you can never assume, but it is clockable.
Yeah.
I can clock a bottom from over 30 miles away.
Yeah, I'm like George in Dimes.
Yes. Or that classic Willem song based off of That Girl Is on Fire. That boy is a bottom. You know.
Slap a bottom is bottom.
Yeah. What would you say are the overall qualities of the clockable bottom?
You know, I think there is a. I can't because I also feel bad because I always get clocked as a bottom.
Yeah.
Because I guess I am thin and effeminate.
That's it. That's pretty much it. Is if you're thin and effeminate, you get clocked as a bottom.
Yeah, but he wasn't thin or effeminate. It's just an aura. It's kind of like you just got to feel it. It's in the air. You know, it's a vibration.
Yeah.
It's like a dowsing rod. It's like you just got to find the water. Got to find the watering hole.
There are the masky bottom. Who shall cry for the masky bottom? You know, who shall represent the masky bottom?
Is that T.S. Eliot?
Yeah, I think that is. He was often
T.S. Eliot, right?
Yeah, J. Alfred Prufrock was the original masky bottom.
Yes, very much so.
Etherized on a table.
My dad called me up one day and he was like, "Steven, did you know T.S. Eliot was born in St. Louis?" I was like, "Nope, I didn't." And he's like, "Yeah, and then he moved to England and became a citizen." I was like, "Oh, I also didn't know that." And he's like, "Okay, bye."
Dropping some T.S. Eliot facts on you. But I do like that because there are so few Midwestern fops now. It's like back in the day, you could generate a fop from the Midwest. You know, a St. Louis or Chicago or like a Cincinnati was producing some high-level fops. But I feel like they all moved to the coast. You know, eventually fop culture found its way to the coastal elites.
The coastal bifurcation and the hollowing out of the interior of the countries, it's not that great of a thing, and COVID has actually kind of fixed that to a degree with the remote work. A lot of people move back into the interior because of the remote work stuff. So.
Yeah, now you can be a fop anywhere. I get my fopping done on my own time.
Seriously.
Wait, so do we have the answer to what's the matter with Kansas? Is that they got rid of the fops?
They got rid of the fops! They got rid of the goddamn fops! That's what's the matter with...
Like, if you get rid of basically your economic engines, which that's what they are, because they're like, I'm sorry, those, like, people who dress up really, really fancy tend to make a lot of money because then they can afford the nice clothes.
And those nice clothes are expensive.
It's just business and economic sense. You want to keep them contained within the city limits so that they continue to drive the growth.
I mean, there's still fops in isn't it in Kansas City? That's the home of that weird, Yellow King like Carcosa ball that Ellie Kemper attended when she was like. Do you know this story?
Oh, I know this story. It's, what do they call it? It's like this, and they're shrouded.
Yeah, it's
like Knights of the Mystic Veil or the shrouded Queen of El Dorado, something like that.
There was a TrueAnon episode about that. It was weird.
Ellie. I've tried to look it up on Google, and Google is just terrible now. But some of this headline immediately captured me because it says Ellie Kemper isn't a KKK queen, but she benefits from racism. Just a very funny title.
I love how Ellie Kemper just is Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes. I also think it's funny how that show ages so much worse than 30 Rock. I watched both recently as the Kimmy Schmidt show did not deal with the criticism leveled against it as deftly as 30 Rock did.
And it's kind of the same John Hamm joke if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh man, he's so handsome. But one, he's so handsome, he's dumb. And one, it's so handsome, he can be evil.
But also dumb.
I said that I thought John Hamm was getting fat, and my wife got really mad at me.
No, he's perfect and will always be perfect.
That's not what she said.
Okay, why was she was criticizing you for body shaming John Hamm?
Yeah.
Well, John Hamm doesn't. It sounds like the name of sort of a rotund gentleman.
It does, and honestly, I think he'd look good with some meat on his bones.
You think he's underweight?
No, I don't think he's underweight. I just feel like he would look good in a cocaine bear phase, you know?
The hottest I ever found Don Draper on the show is when he's in depression mode and just eating boxes of Ritz crackers. Well,
why? Because it made you think of Kierkegaard?
It made me think of
Is that what Kierkegaard ate?
Kierkegaard, if Ritz crackers existed, he would have been like, I am despairing except for these delicious, buttery, salty crackers.
Huh. My depression food is tuna fish sandwich.
It's pretty good depression food.
Yeah.
I mean, what I will do is I will take anchovy paste. I will take a tube of anchovy paste and I will put it on a Ritz cracker. And that is my favorite snack in the world. I call them special treats.
Yeah, okay. When Alex and I used to share a bed, we had there were many rules of things he was not allowed to eat before bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anchovies were one, kimchi was another.
Mm-hmm.
And these were just like, I don't know, baby, you need to lay on the couch for a couple hours before you come to bed because.
What, you don't want nightmarish farts and nightmarish breath? You don't like that? You're not into that?
It's not great.
You don't like the stank? You know, this is why all the cocaine bears are going elsewhere, because they got more stank. You know, this is why they're rioting in the streets.
Yeah, I was shunning your foppish behavior of eating kimchi at 11:45 in the evening immediately before going to sleep.
See, because, you know, they say you shouldn't eat before you go to sleep, but with kimchi, it gets all your systems running, you know, it gets the gear running. So it's like you're awake and digesting something.
Yeah, though, I mean, I don't, now I'm oversharing, but it is a hilarious story of like, even though that was always bad, he will never beat the worst thing I ever did by sharing a bed with Alex, which is I occasionally sleepwalk. And one time I got up and started sleepwalking and I thought I went to the bathroom and I just went on top of Alex and just started pissing on him while he was sleeping.
Yeah.
And the most Alex way possible just slowly opens his eyes and just goes, "Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Why? Come on."
Ah, jeez. Oh, no.
I woke up and I woke up halfway through and I'm like, "Oh, no."
But you didn't stop, right? You just kept going.
Well, you can't, you know.
You can't stop.
Can't change a horse in midstreams, as they say. It's like that. Did you ever remember seeing that old viral video of someone is pouring water on an asleep woman and like they get like 3 good glugs and she's like drenched and then she opens her eyes and just goes, "Hello?" And that's what it was like for me. But yeah,
but
that'll happen.
the piss thing is in, like about a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd say like everything on the apps was all feet. Everyone has discovered feet during COVID, and now everybody wants to get pissed on.
Well,
Piss play.
And it's just a trend. Like I was in the only gay bar in Sarasota a few months ago, and I was in the bathroom, and this guy came up to me, and he started watching me pee, and he goes, "Can I give you $10 to watch you pee?" And then I was like, "Well, you're already watching me pee, so you might as well give me $10."
yeah. And then did he?
And he did. He gave me $10.
Nice.
There you go.
And I got a shot.
That's what you do right after
But
you
I
pee.
guess, yeah, what do they say? It's like, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. I mean, he really went for that one.
Well, I feel like in gay bars, it's a lot easier to offer someone to pay to see their penis. I feel that's,
Oh, for sure. But it's not like he asked me at the bar. I was already peeing. Like, he was watching me pee.
Yeah, he could have been, I don't know. Yeah, he could have just
gotten
been getting it for free.
I was at the urinal.
But that's nice. That's nice of him. He was feeling guilty. Look, man, I'm really enjoying watching you pee. I don't want to take advantage of you. Let me throw a couple bucks your way.
Hey, you know what? His money's green. Mm-hmm. And so was my urine.
Yes. Ooh. Drinking too many Monster energy drinks in Florida. Drinking too many
I love me
Bang
that
energy drinks.
Ultra. Oh, it's the zero sugar one. Gets me through the day.
Really? You are an energy drink person now.
Yeah, I have kind of given up coffee and converted to energy drinks. It's better for my stomach. But I also don't do caffeine till I don't start my day with caffeine anymore. I do
for
it
your
as
stomach.
I'm going to be annoying. I do it as pre-workout. And I go for a run.
Pre-workout monster is a very funny phrase. Doing my pre-workout monster. I put a little creatine in
So
it.
zero calories?
I think it's 10 calories, but it's zero sugar.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the white one is the best, and
Okay.
the pink one is the second best, and the blue one is bad.
I go on
Now-
walks, and sometimes I have to pee because I've had too many cups of coffee. So maybe this will help me with the pee thing.
No, it still makes you pee, and it still makes you poop. I think it's the caffeine that does that. It just
Well,
doesn't
that-
give me the bubble guts in the same way.
It may be less liquid than 4 cups of coffee, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, they
I mean,
also have the real big ones, too, if you want to just really test your hypothesis.
I like the bubble guts. I like the feeling that there's like a poison swamp in my stomach that is churning.
Alex, do you make coffee and drink coffee every day?
Not every day. It's bad. It's bad for my acid reflux. I have acid reflux as bad as Ashley Simpson. And so for the 20-year-olds that listen to the show that don't get that reference, one time on SNL, Ashley Simpson, the sister of other famed songster Jessica Simpson, she was caught lip syncing, and then she blamed it on her acid reflux. But I don't think anybody has thought of Ashley Simpson in a very long time.
Yeah, she was different because she had dark hair.
Yeah, she wasn't blonde. She was like pseudo emo.
Yeah, she could tell the difference between chicken and fish.
Yes, unlike her moronic sister, Jessica Simpson. What's Jessica Simpson? Is she like really right wing or something, or am I just imagining that?
She's got that vibe.
Yeah, but maybe we're just pigeoning, we're just bottom holing her like we did with the thin, effeminate people. Maybe she's actually got some progressive ideals.
Sure, she could be like a Kristen Chenoweth type.
Yeah, is Kristen Chenoweth? Does she have good politics? I'm very
She's
concerned.
like very Christian, but she's also very pro LGBT.
Yeah, I love that type of person, like Tammy Faye Baker. Yeah.
I rewatched that Tammy Faye Baker documentary. That's pretty good. That RuPaul narrates.
That's good. That one is also called The Eyes of Tammy Faye, right?
Yeah, well, that's what the movie was based off of that documentary. So I think World of Wonder actually was like on the production team of that movie.
Yeah. Well,
And there's like another one, like there's a sequel where it's all about her dying.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's very sad. But she's sort of like almost a universally beloved figure, even though Jim Baker is a huge crook. And she largely wasn't responsible for that, right? She didn't know what Jim Baker was doing.
No, she wasn't. And like, she really like kind of did. Like, I mean, she was doing the whole like touching people with AIDS before Diana did it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because she actually seemed to believe in that Christian ideal of, like, you know, you see that what you do unto the least of my brothers, that you do unto me, right? I wouldn't mind Christians if they were more like that, if they were very helpful.
But you know, part of me too is wonders, like, you know, because they like just she has that kind of affectation that gay men really are gravitated to, this kind of like tragic, over the top, coiffed lady. So I think, you know, even if she didn't before, I mean, I think the only reason she was kind of able to bounce back was because she had that audience.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for the gays. Good for the gays for rehabilitating a flamboyant woman, as we're all want to do. Continuing on this gay odyssey. I guess the odyssey was already pretty gay. What do you think they were doing on the boat?
No, it's not. No, come on. Why are you saying the odyssey?
I'm going to translate, you know, you could talk to your dad is a classics professor. He can tell you about, I removed all the references to sodomy from the Odyssey.
Very sensitive topic. Very sensitive topic for him.
The sodomy in the Odyssey?
No, he was actually pretty frank about it. He was like, yeah, they were all pedophiles.
Oh, sure, right.
You know.
Yeah, but there were no boys on the boat. That's why I don't think there was anything going on.
Right. Well, they had to. That's Achilles was like, you leave them here, Odysseus. You leave them with me. All right.
Yeah. I mean, this joke is just for Steven's dad, but the thing is that there's way more sodomy in the Lattimore translations than the Green translations.
I like the Lattimore translation. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Richmond Lattimore's Iliad is way better. I don't know about his Odyssey though. I haven't read that. I have it.
Yeah, I mostly read the plays.
I think I read that. Did Fitzgerald do an Odyssey? Someone named Fitzgerald.
I'm surprised he didn't fuck that Cyclops, because that Cyclops was, of course, Polly.
Yeah.
That's a great Polyphemus joke.
Polyphemus, man.
Excellent Polyphemus jokes about the Odyssey sodomy.
Man.
Speaking of your own sodomy Odyssey, Jay. What you have a story that you wanted, you were waiting to tell me because it was especially bizarre foray into your recent sexual escapades.
Yeah, so you know, a little context. So I don't know, I didn't always have this toit bod, and so the last couple of years I've been you know, like I like going to the nude beach in Toronto. One of the bathhouses in Montreal, I'm not a bathhouse guy, but they opened like a rooftop patio. And I'm like, this is cool. I can be naked outside. I like that. So there is a bar in Toronto that has for years and years had a naked night, but it's at like 7 p.m. on a Thursday. And Toronto,
that's very early.
Yeah, so and like Toronto has like bathhouses, and it's in the gay village. Like there are plenty of opportunities to just go be naked and have sex with strangers. So I thought this was more like, you know, this was like a naked party. Like there'd be some music. Yeah, of course people will be having sex, but like, you know, it's gonna be more of a, you know, like a naked box social, if you will.
Oh, have you heard the recent recording of Marla? Yes, I love it. Yeah, nice penis. That's a great penis you have there.
Yeah. So first of all, one of the most interesting things was there was a clothing check. There was a very small amount of space to disrobe, put all of your clothes in a garbage bag, and hand them to somebody, like a coat check.
Did they delouse you? Did they like fumigate you? Did they spray you with a hose?
No, but like they were like, you can't have your bag. I'm like, where am I supposed to put my cards? In my ass? Like my ass is not that tight. I can't hold my phone in there for too long. Also, I'm going to get pink eye if I do that.
Yeah, but hello, just rubbing your shit on your face while you're next to.
So, this place is definitely not what I thought it was going to be, because there is absolutely zero music playing. It is a completely medialess room full of naked men not talking to each other.
Okay.
It's like the Simpsons episode where they have the dance and all the boys and I was just like, all these naked people are just silently staring at each other. And they were like a lot of good looking guys there, but just no interaction. And then the bartender turns on the screens, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little crass, but I would assume there would be porn on these screens.
Yeah, get you in the mood.
No, it was Almost Famous on silent with subtitles.
Sure. Billy Crudup is attractive, relatively.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this place because I don't know. I went alone, so I'm kind of like, I figured if there was some music, you could dance up to somebody, maybe meet someone. And now I'm just like standing at the bar awkwardly being like, oh yeah, Jay Baruchel is in this movie.
Yeah. Another Jay.
Yeah. Well, Jay actually looks physically similar to Jay Baruchel. It's happened
I have
all of his
often been
life.
told, I used to work at a Starbucks and everyone would tell me I look like Jay Baruchel. And then this one lady came in and said, oh man, you really look like Justin Long. And I'm like, no, you're thinking of Jay Baruchel. And she's like, yeah, you're right.
Jay Baruchel, what's happening to his movies? Why can't he get any? Why is there no big Jay Baruchel vehicle since this is the end?
Yeah, tall Canadian Jews, we all look alike.
I saw this promo for Jay Baruchel on some weird Canadian equivalent to Last Comic Standing, and they did not use the best photo they possibly could have gotten for him. Like, every laugh line is on display in this photo in, like, full, crisp HD. Ooh. And your only comment is, man, Baruchel's getting a little old. The time has passed. I bet Alicia Cuthbert doesn't look this bad.
I will give this advice to all of the your more heterosexually leaning audience. Put the cream on your face. It helps. The cream makes the face be less bad eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking about applying creams. I'm using a glycerin-based cream.
On your face?
No.
Oh, on your penis.
Yes, of course. Okay. To keep it from to de-ageify.
Yeah, well, that's that Bill Burr joke. It's like, why do you think your dick looks the same age, but you keep getting older?
Yeah, because you're always jacking off with cream.
You're moisturizing it, yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I'm dry. I'm fully dry.
Yeah, you got to get your hyaluronic acid. You got to get your eye cream. You got to have your day cream, your night cream. But just put your jerk off cream on your face. It'll do you some good, straight boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you forget that you're a wet creature. You are a creature of wetness. You are a creature of moisture.
I noticed that my ankle skin was dry. You have any tips?
Also, cream. Cream is the solution to all your problems.
I like
Eric
more
Clapton knew it.
I like more like burning style creams. Like those creams that give you a hot sensation.
Oh, like icy hot or Tiger Balm. Yeah.
Yeah, like Tiger Balm.
I feel like Tiger Balm could probably work. Just don't put that on your peener.
Don't put it on your balls. That's the classic mistake everyone makes.
In the butt crack.
No, I mean...
Yeah. Putting icy hot in your butt crack.
I got lots of creams. They're mostly like antifungals.
I mean, I feel like the antifungal couldn't hurt.
I love to do a antifungal all up in there, followed by hydrocortisone.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've gotten away from the awkward nude party with almost famous of the. Did anything happen? Were you conversing with dudes?
So I was having a really hard time figuring out how communication works in this place because it's kind of started like, I don't know how else to explain it, but like, you know how like an electric tie rack works?
Yes.
Like a rotating conveyor belt?
Yeah.
So everyone was just kind of walking in that formation during the loop. And like looking at each other, and then and then I didn't again. I don't know the codes of this place, and I didn't get a cheat sheet. So I think the way people greeted each other was by grabbing each other's penises.
Okay, sure, yeah.
But it was like a handshake kind of deal. Like it was exceptionally unerotic.
Like was anyone hard? Was it all soft? Was everyone soft?
Oh, well, no, like this turned into a full, people were just having sex. Like I was ordering a beer at the bar and these guys were like fucking, like this guy was fucking this other guy, like doggy style on the bar, but he kept losing his bat. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they had condoms and lube everywhere, but like those guys were doing it bareback and the bottom kept losing balance. So he kept like spilling my beer. So they kept like, and I'm like, okay, gentlemen, can you just please fuck at a 45-degree angles to the right, please? Cause I don't. So there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's funny to hear guys are fucking next to you, caught in sweaty ecstasy, and you're like, excuse me,
sir, can you please move your balls, sir?
You know what you should have done to break the ice with these people? You should have mentioned Andor. You should have gone through the...
Right, I should have gone through the entire Mandalorian series.
Yeah.
Yeah, another curious thing is that, like, a lot of events, like, everybody was given glasses. Like, all the drinks were served in glass, which I feel like is a bad call for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. First of all, nobody's wearing clothes.
Yeah.
And second of all, there's not a lot of places to put your drink. So there's all these guys with like cold, frosty beers in their hands who are then trying to stretch out their dicks to make them look bigger, but their hands are cold from the cold, frosty dicks. And this is everyone in the bar is having this issue. They're like, oh man, I'm really enjoying this beer. Damn, I'm making my dick smaller. Oh, I'm really enjoying this beer. Damn, I'm making my dick smaller.
No, they should have. That's why they should only have a warm British bitter at this type of event.
Or like cans, plastic cups. You know.
Wait, was everyone barefoot as well?
No, they were not barefoot.
Oh, that is so that makes it so much funnier because the funniest possible costume is shoes and socks and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is because they weren't letting people bring their bags, so people's socks were like stuffed with their phones and like their credit cards and money and shit. So again, I was wearing like running socks. I didn't know I needed to wear my fucking lederhosen to like bring enough like stuff with me.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's why we need to have pouches. That's why we need to get surgical kangaroo pouches placed on us.
Yeah, and so another interesting factor was the urinals. They had subway tile that looked out onto the rest of the nude party, so you could look into the bathroom, but you could also look out at the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I got very little play because I didn't know how to initiate with anybody. Like I went and like I did apparently what was an absurd thing was go stand next to somebody I found attractive and try talking to them. And they looked at me like I was like, no, we have to go to the conveyor belt and touch each other's dicks. This is how this works.
Carousel.
Yeah, and then the word actually, this is the last person I bought them for on August 19th, 2019 was there. And it was the only person I knew there. And, he started, he sucking me off for a while, but it was just kind of awkward because I was just like, whatever. It's not the public sex. It's I don't know the rules to this game and I'm very naked right now. Mm-hmm. And then he did that for a while and then he came up and then he just started talking to me about, he's like, oh yeah, so my brother just moved into me and my mom, she bought like she got a new dog.
Yeah, casual conversation while you're both
casual
nude.
Conversation, we're both nude and people are fucking everywhere.
That's pretty good. So eventually the bottoming, it paid off because you would have had an otherwise totally abject night. I actually think it made it worse because I ended up like he kind of cornered me where I'm like, well, I don't really care about your mom's new job, but I feel bad like because like if I just go, oh, it's a pretty small bar, so if I'm like, oh, I need to go do anything, he just like there's something about blowing somebody off when their dick is out that it's just it feels wrong. Mm-hmm. But also I was like, this is not why I came here. I came here to interact with basically anybody but you. Well, it would be funny if it was like someone you knew from work you saw there, something.
Yeah, I mean, I do have one of those stories too, but
okay, I'd like to hear that.
And then the end of the story is around. So Toronto has a ridiculously early last call for their bars. So around 1:30, everyone is like scrambling to get their stuff at the clothing check. So there's just a bunch of naked people in line waiting to get their clothes back. And these guys are panicking because they want to go to the bathhouse. And they're like, oh man, we got to go to the baths. We got to go to the baths. I'm like, you're at one. Why didn't you just go there to begin with? You're like, oh, we got to leave this public sex joint to go have sex in another public sex joint. We got to get there pronto.
It's bar hopping, except you're man hopping, I guess.
Yeah, and then the people at the clothing check thought they lost my clothes.
That would be such a horrible situation. I'm sorry, someone else took them. You're gonna have to use our loaners, and it's like a Tommy Bahama shirt and a thong or something.
Like it was a cold day out. It was like a winter coat kind of day too. So I'm like, and he's like, well, sorry, bud, I don't have it. Like I gave him my ticket. I'm like, what do you mean, sorry, bud? It's not like I lost my jacket. I will get arrested if I leave this bar like this.
We lost your clothes. This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
So eventually they found my clothes, but I was like, you have to give me somebody's clothes. Like, I can't walk out. Like, this is not an option.
Yeah.
So I eventually got my clothes back. But yeah, no, I worked at a university and we had a person who came, like a postdoc come to the university. And at the first, meeting where we were all greeting him, he kept inviting all of the other queer people to go to the bathhouse with him to go meet his old professor.
What?
And I was like, I'm good. I'm all right. Thanks. And there was this other guy who's a little bit more meek. He's a no cocaine bear, if you will.
Okay. Yeah.
And and this guy kept like peer pressuring him. He's like, "What? You don't want to like talk about academia naked with my old professor?" And I'm like, he's like, "No, I don't. I feel nervous." And he's like, "No, you're a gay guy. This is a normal thing to do." I'm like, "I don't think that is."
This is a very British boarding school thing that you've got going here.
Well, yeah, he was French from France, so it kind of same diff.
Same thing. Oh no, it is very normal for us to go to boarding school and touching up. Very normal. Remember when Richard Dawkins said that shit, where he's like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with little harmless touching up." Now I think that's the phrase that he used, which was so he was clearly molested by a teacher, and then
that's probably why he doesn't believe in God.
No, but it seemed like he liked it. It seems like he because that's part of just British boarding school.
Well, yeah. What's that Stephen Fry joke? It's like if you ever want the bully to stop beating you up, you just say, "Stop punching me! I got an erection."
Yeah. But that wouldn't work at these schools because they just start beating you up even more, but sensually this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just because you're a fop, doesn't mean you're necessarily gay. But there are a lot of gay fops. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's the Quentin Crisp effect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's I as somebody who puts a lot of cream on his face, I tend to walk around in the summer with a lavender lace parasol, so no sun touches it. So I've definitely embraced full fop.
Who is the most prominent heterosexual fop in the world? It's Donald Trump, of course. He is a fop, but in sort of the strange, crass way.
Is he a fop or is he a queen?
I guess you're right. He's more of a queen than a fop.
I don't know.
Because I feel like a fop has more like, I don't know. There's more like he doesn't dress foppish, he doesn't. It's more of his demeanor that's queeny.
Yeah. I would also say maybe what fops
if he had
seem
an
to have.
ascot, he could be a fop.
Fops have like a certain level of cultural appreciation that he doesn't. But I think you can be like he is a quintessential new neo-American fop where his artistic indulgences are wrestling and reality
television.
Calling
him nouveau riche, Alex?
Yes, he is. Well, he isn't nouveau riche even. He's
I mean his dad made the money, so that would be
true.
nouveau riche.
You're right. He's not old money, but
no, he's not. He's not a Getty.
No,
he's not in that gruesome Newsom pact.
The gruesome Newsom pact. Wait, what is that?
Well, Gavin Newsom is married to Getty to have a career.
Oh, Gavin, the California governor.
The governor of California, Gruesome Newsom.
Gruesome Newsom. That's what people call him.
Yeah.
Wait, what bad did he do? I'm not up on the Gavin Newsom tea. Not up on the Gavin Newsom hate train.
I mean, you could talk about California politics till the cows come home, but I think it really is just his sort of like ardent like careerism. Like when he became mayor of San Francisco, it was very clear this man was going to run for president.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just one of those people who's like, I'm the mayor of San Francisco. I'm going to marry a Getty. Now I have all the money in the world. I am the king of California.
Yeah, he's got King of California vibes. I mean, I think he might take California into secession. He might secede and become King of California.
I think that's his only option because, I think after Reagan, I don't think we're going to have another California president for a while.
Also, literally no mayor has ever become a president.
Well, that's a shame.
I think. Can you think of it? I guess not. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, Lincoln, I mean that sounds right. I don't know.
Maybe I'm extrapolating the no New York City mayor has ever become president. I'm sure there are presidents that had like mayorships early in their career or something.
I mean, Pete got so close. Pete was almost there.
Speaking of gay mishaps, wonderful gay mishaps, it is so fucking funny that he took Sec Transpo as like, oh yeah, this is just an easy job that'll bump me up in my career. Then all these massive highway and rail disasters are happening.
Yeah, are we calling the whole Ohio thing a gay mishap? I feel
it's a gay mishap.
Characterizing this whole situation.
Speaking of East Palestine, we need that
I feel like
PVC.
I just told a gay mishap story.
No, that PVC that is flowing into the air. We need that for our dildos and our makeup, our drag makeup. So I think that's what all that PVC was going towards.
Yeah, I mean, going back a little bit, that tiger bomb story, and it's Steven's butthole. I
That's
was
awesome.
buying when I first before I spoke French better than I do. I went to a sex store where everybody only spoke French. I was buying a PVC sex toy, and the guy was trying. He was trying to be so helpful, but he didn't speak English, so he was trying to explain to me not to use the numbing lube that comes with it. And he's just like, no, loose butthole. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, Pierre. And he's like, no, hurt. He's like, hurt good.
I like.
And he was trying to explain that you don't want, like, if you should, like, feeling pain is something you should be able, like, if it hurts, it's you shouldn't do it, and numbing it is gonna break your butt. But he didn't know how to say that to me. But I appreciated his trying.
It's like in a fantasy story when it's like, wait, that old woman wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to warn me. You get the realization, and then you encounter, in your case, the the horrifyingly numb butthole.
Yeah. Actually, same sex. I have a very messy friend that I made. Actually, off a dating app, and then we went. He did not send me a face pic. He just sent me a dick pic. I got over there, and he's like, you want to just be friends? And it's just kind of what happened. We just kind of hung out. We were like, oh, you want to? It's more. Let's just talk about musicals. But he has this great story about how he once did a bunch of GHB, rented a car to go buy a dildo.
How do you need to rent a car? Was he living in a small town where you didn't have access?
No, he was like in a different part of town, but like it wasn't like a go. It was like in Montreal, you can like they have those like they call it commune auto, like you can just kind of like pick up a car for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we grabbed one of those, drove it to the gay village to go buy a dildo, rear-ended somebody. And then was apparently so fucked up they refused to sell him the dildo because the people in the sex store saw him rear end somebody, and he's like, "Oh man, I just want the one with the suction cup." And they're like, "No, you're like you crashed into a car. We're not selling you this dildo."
Okay, why? What's the reason? What possibly harm could befall
I think
him?
their worry was that the cops were going to come and then go into their store and scare away their other customers.
Oh, so the transaction would have taken too long. And
Wait, so he rear-ended a guy
rear-ended right in front of the store
before exchanging insurance with the other guy. He's went,
it was a parked car. It was a parked car.
Okay,
so I think they saw the writing on the wall, and also like this person's a mess.
Yeah. Selling a dildo to a guy on G, you might do crazy stuff with that dildo. We don't need our. We don't.
If I had been the proprietor of the store, I'd been like, yeah, it costs all the money you have. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be the quickest way to get him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who another time on GHB he set up a date with a guy, but he forgot to ask his name. And because of the GHB, he forgot what the guy looked like. And so and they agreed to meet in a subway station. So he just went to the subway station and just started asking people if he was his Grindr date. And he found him.
Are you my Grindr date? Are you my Grindr?
Apparently he was hot. But he was just like, yeah, didn't remember his name or his face. And I was like, why would you go then?
Man.
I would take the L. But he took the D, so maybe I'm wrong.
You are, well, how strung out have you been on G ever,
Yeah, I mean, G is, I have yet to try G voluntarily.
Ooh, that's a bad story.
Yeah.
But nothing happened to you that night when you were roofied, but
nothing happened to me. I'm just convinced it happened. And I'm like, the only reason I know nothing happened to me is because I have my Uber receipt. And I remember calling the Uber, and that's the last thing I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So now I am also convinced the Uber driver took me home and put me to bed. Took me up to the I've almost said the floor of a very high floor on a high rise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You live on like the 85th floor.
I live on the 85th floor.
Oh my God!
I live in vertical Snowpiercer.
High rise. You live in high rise.
It would be pretty neat to live on the 85th floor of a building. I would want to have a fire pole installed to go all the way down.
Like Batman?
Yeah. Does Batman do that?
Yeah, in the old Batman TV show, he used the fire pole to go to the Batcave. And it would also change. He would go in as Bruce Wayne, and he would come out as Batman.
Down the fire? He would change clothes on a fire pole?
So he would go on the fire pole, and then it would cut to and then he would be coming down in his Batman suit.
So he somehow changes clothes while on a fire pole. Amazing.
Presumably, there's like a bat suit that is like he can put his legs down into as he is descending the fire pole.
Yeah, and then eventually there was a second pole for Robin.
Yes. Good old Burt Ward.
A slightly smaller pole.
Yeah, it's a slightly smaller pole. But Batgirl never had the pole. She had a bookcase that rotated and had a secret transformation room in there.
Because the pole would have been too phallic. It would have been too suggestive.
Instead, she just has a opening that you can get in.
Yeah, she has a large opening.
Yes. Only the boys can ride the long phallic entity. No, you must have your yonic bookcase. We're consigning you to these roles. I just know that if I went down on like one of those, I can picture it now where I'm sliding down an 85 floor pole and I just lose interest halfway and like my grip falters and then I'm just falling down, hitting the sides of the holes as I go down, careening around like a pinball, just passing. And for some reason in my imagination, the pole goes through everyone's apartments. So,
yeah, it goes through their living rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not even like a pinball, like with the chaos of Sonic. Like,
yes.
From the Sega games, which is
yeah. Just coming around, just cracking my neck on the sides of the holes, and I think has a fireman ever sued for a pole accident? Who would you sue then?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to if you use creams on your thighs. Then it wouldn't have the accident.
Yeah, that's it. Creams.
Creams are the answer.
The answer to everything. Absolutely.
I'm on that wavelength, honestly. Like, I've been, because in the wintertime, with all the dry air, you do need to take care of your epidermis. And it's amazing you say that, Jay, because last night, I decided what my New Year's resolution was going to be. And it was taking care of the old epidermis, the largest organ, as they say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have been such an evangelist for this. It is at the university I work at. There is a reputation for me explaining to women when they turn 25 that they need to start moisturizing their necks.
You gotta moisturize everywhere.
Moisturize your necks, ladies.
A lot of girls do their face, but they don't do the neck.
You gotta,
and that's when you get the Nancy Pelosi neck.
Yeah, you gotta apply sunscreen to your face and neck and any place that's exposed to the sun every day.
I really, really want to go up to Nancy Pelosi's neck and grab it by both ends and go like this.
It wouldn't make that sound.
It would make that noise. It would make that exact noise.
It would make that sound if you put moisture on it first.
Yes.
Moisturizer on it first. If you lube those gels up.
Excellent point, Jay.
A lot of people want head from Big Titty Pelosi. I want neck. Give me neck. Pure neck. I'll suck your dick. No, Nancy. No, Nancy.
There was something that cracked me up so much was Amber Frost talking about Nancy Pelosi's plastic surgery. And the way she put it is, when you get that much plastic surgery when you're that old, it's like you could be 60 or 80. The only thing I can tell is that you can't have kids.
Oh, my God. Good, but I don't hear lots about Pelosi anymore. Not since her husband got attacked.
Well, now that's a real gay mishap.
That is a real gay mishap. Wait, is her husband gay?
No, that was the whole the right wingers kept saying that the guy who that he brought in was like a call boy who went wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And then they released all of the security footage. And he was just a crazy person who hit him in the head with a hammer.
Wow.
That old dude is resilient. Didn't he crash a car 6 months earlier and then he got hit in the head with that? Well, I don't know. My 80-year-old relatives are not that resilient.
Yeah. Marvin Gaye wasn't that. I shouldn't have said.
Come on.
I made myself sad with that one.
That's a real gay mishap.
Yeah, it was a gay mishap. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Marvin Gaye, of course, was brutally murdered by his father with a hammer. Wait, do I have that right? Was he murdered with it? Or no, his father shot him.
Oh, yeah, I don't think the hammer part is...
Who was murdered with a hammer? I'm trying to think of a very famous hammer murder.
Trotsky.
Ice Pick.
That was an Ice Pick.
Ice Pick. Oh, shit.
You know it from the song? I only know that from No More Heroes by the Stranglers.
I know that from the Frida Kahlo movie, Frida.
Ooh.
That's how I found out he fucked Frida Kahlo.
Really? I didn't know that.
Because her and, what's his name, the muralist, her partner, they were hiding him in Mexico.
That is I like that movie. It's Julie Taymor, who has a very erratic, very hit or miss when it comes to her stuff.
And it was Selma Hayek and the guy who played Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Great Molina performance. He was Diego Rivera.
Diego Rivera, yeah.
Her Titus, did you ever see Her Titus Andronicus? Julie Taymor's Titus Andronicus?
I did see Her Titus Andronicus. That was an extra movie. I mean, it is, you can't do a low-key Titus Andronicus.
Yeah, it's the most violent Shakespeare play and one of the most violent things ever written. Still,
yeah.
You know? And
especially
it's funny.
because like none of the violence really happens on stage for much of the like Shakespeare stuff. It's more like, okay, I'm gonna go off stage right now. Oops, I'm dead.
Yeah. Oh, your hands got chopped off. Your hands and tongue got chopped off, and now they're replaced with twigs.
Yeah. Exit stage right. Followed by a cocaine bear.
Yeah. That's Titus Andronicus, the cocaine bear of Shakespeare plays.
He invented
Winter's
the phrase.
Tale, but
He actually invented that phrase.
Oh yeah, you're right. He invented eyeballs and cocaine bear. Yeah.
Yeah, and the word spoon.
Right.
And the act of physically spooning your partner.
Yeah, he invented that.
Actually, speaking of spooning, I actually just revealed this to my partner the other day, which is that when I lost my bottom virginity, the thing that I had in the background was not American Dad, but the rejected cartoons. And literally the first time I had a penis in my butthole, it was the "my spoon is too big, my anus is bleeding" sketch.
My spoon is too big.
Yeah. My anus is bleeding. Just getting sodomized. It was very, I didn't get caught by my parents, but I will never forget that.
Yeah, it's hard to forget. Putting on TV in the background of sex is a very funny thing. Like you'd think you'd want to put on music or
Yeah, music makes more sense because I don't know, I get distracted easily during sex.
Yeah.
Like if I get bored or distracted, I'm like out. Like I know some guys are like, I got a nut, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought. Want to eat some sandwiches?
I mean, what kind of sandwiches are you talking here?
Oh man, I've been crazy on. So I've been crazy on the bread making train, and now I'm making my own deli meats.
What?
Yeah, because I went to this fucking Loblaw shit. I made a bunch of like sandwich rolls, and I went to the grocery to go get some sandwich meat. And I went to the deli person. I said, "Can I have 300 grams de dinde?" And they were like, and they handed me my turkey, and for 300 grams, it was like $17. So I just bought some turkey breast and I cured it with salt, sugar, and MSG for a couple days, and I sliced it real nice. I got it real cold, sliced it on my mandolin to get like really nice thin shavings.
Do you cook it first, or you just cure it?
No, I cured it and then I poached it sous vide for an hour and 2 hours at 150 degrees.
Got it.
Yeah, and seasoned it up, and then I just sliced it, and now I've got so much titty, and that titty cost me $7. And that was like
titty.
800 grams of titty.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Eating that turkey titty all over.
Now, what if you don't have a sous vide? What could you do?
Roast it.
Or poach? You maybe just poach it, like.
Yeah, you could just. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't like. The good thing about sous vide is that the water never touches the chicken, so I feel like boiled chicken is not really what anybody wants. I would probably roast it at that case, but you could. I mean, you could always boil chicken. You could be like my Soviet grandparents.
I think the British enjoy boiled meats.
Yeah,
I've heard this. I try to subscribe to these like Twitter bots with like British crazy awful British food, and I see like they're like, I made my chicken plate, and it's like the whitest piece of chicken meat with no sauce or anything.
How did they take over the world?
Are you saying you don't like pay wet? You don't like pay wet?
Okay, so pay wet is just the juice, the wetness that is in their green peas that they have. And I do like that. I would love to go to the northern part of England and experience that.
They just drink the juice off the peas?
Yeah.
It's like pay wet. It's like it's a garnish for them.
It's the wet from the peas. That's how I would describe it.
I have an answer to how I think the British took over the world, because it's that whimsy. It's that like whimsical thing. It's that you couldn't possibly take them seriously, so you didn't even know they were slaughtering you. You would just, oh, look at these fucking weirdos. Look at these fops. Look at these goddamn fops. They can't do a thing. They're fops. But then it turned out they are the most uniquely murderous people on Earth.
Yeah, they just saw the Indian subcontinent, just saw them, and they just saw a yellow submarine, and then they were like, this will be fine.
Dun, 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 dun. And then the noises of slaughter and destruction in the background. Bad Country. I also, but it's that the phenomena. Everyone's read the Hitchhiker's Guide books. Everyone's read, but they have that thing in the Hitchhiker's Guide about the planet Cricket, which is supposed to be England. And the planet of Cricket is entirely covered by clouds. They can't see space. And so they become a spacefaring species eventually, and they send out a rocket, and they see the majesty of space, the beauty and the grandeur of everything, and how small they really are. And their first response is, well, it'll have to go. And that's, I think, that's the British attitude right there. It's, you need your small, insular little fantasy world that is entirely covered by clouds that you have dominion over. That it's that sort of, I think it is also because it's overcast all the time and you're constantly depressed. There is that consistent descent into fantasy that is still very popular in English culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a more simplistic way to answer that, which is just that England sucks, so they had to get other places that were better.
Yeah. They learned it from the Vikings.
You would think they would give up the bad food, like if the whole argument's like we had to invade the subcontinent so we could have flavor. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, they brought the flavor over, but they also have the pea sweat. They didn't give up the pea sweat. Yeah. They were just like, they want like the pea sweat on the side of their curry.
Well, we got chicken tikka masala out of it, which is pretty good. Yeah, chicken tikka masala is okay.
I mean, they also eat this thing. They do this thing called a butty.
A chip butty.
A chip butty, and that's just like French fries in a roll, in a sandwich roll.
Gotta be honest, that sounds pretty good to me.
And they eat it dry, no sauce.
No gravy? Like, that's a sandwich that is made for gravy. They don't even put gravy on that shit?
But that's also like a child's food. Like, that's what you give a autistic child.
Yeah, another thing they'll do is like, they'll have like they'll take like a Jamaican patty style thing, like a mince pie of some kind. Like the only meat pies we have here are like the Jamaican meat pies, but they have their own meat pies, and they'll put 2 pieces of bread in between that, or put that in between 2 piees of bread.
Isn't that a double? Don't they do that here, Alex, or don't they do that in Toronto?
Doubles,
or is it double 2 Jamaican beef patties with something in between them?
No, doubles are a different thing entirely. It's sort of like a samosa-like Caribbean snack, I think.
Okay, I'm mixing up my Caribbean snacks.
Well, I'm into the food. I'm into the bad food. I kind of like it.
I mean, a meat pie, I've got nothing wrong with that. I live in the land of tortilla. But they put ketchup on theirs here. It's weird.
No, doubles are really good, actually. Doubles is a Trinidadian snack, and it's 2 barras, flat fried dough, and filled with curry chana, which is chickpeas, and various chutneys. It's actually delicious. I've had quite a few doubles. When I lived in Kingston, there was like 2 Caribbean restaurants, and one of them was a Trinidadian restaurant. And they made
how many would you say you've had total
in my life?
Yeah,
I don't know how many doubles I've had in my life.
How many would you can you try to make an estimate?
Probably like 7. If I were to,
you got to get these numbers up. We got to get these nummies up, my friend.
These doubles.
Yeah, but I mean, Alex and I have fucked up quite a few rotis in our time. That was a go-to for a while.
Yeah. Ooh, now I want roti.
Here's some homework. Next time we meet, because we're nearing the end. Next time we meet, I want the number, the actual number. How many hamburgers you've had in your entire life?
Okay, I think I could estimate.
That's easy. I have never had a McDonald's hamburger in my life.
I didn't say McDonald's.
No, but I'm not a big burger guy. I went my entire childhood without having a McDonald's hamburger.
Well, you will have an easier task.
Yeah.
Because I've been having hamburgers for a long time. So I'm going to have to really reach back into my memory hole and try to come up with every day, figure it out.
Yeah.
So you're saying if I'm watching porn and I hear Bob's Burger in the background, I have to assume it's your amateur porn that you're doing?
Yeah, burger counting.
Yeah, any burger lifestyle,
Burger Fap.
Yeah, that burger show with Alvin Kylan, or that guy. I watched it for a while, but I don't think they're making new episodes.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pea sweat on him.
Yeah, a lot of pea sweat.
It's the sweat from the pea.
The sweat from the pea.
Jay, do you have any plugs you want to plug?
No, I mean, I guess I'm going to keep up this weird thing where I remain weirdly anonymous for absolutely no reason every time I come on the show.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all sort of partially anonymous, at least. Like, you could figure out who I am, but I've made it slightly more difficult.
Alex has self-doxed a bunch of times. He's been like, the park named this across the street from where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, sorry, I was just reading my postal code off this piece of mail for some reason out loud.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, here's oh yeah, you know, my social security number is such an interesting number. So is my IP address.
Oh, well,
Yeah, so I guess I'll...
I have everyone's IP address. That's not important. You can't do anything with that.
Yeah, especially because I've got my VPN.
Your Fitbit?
My VPN.
Zippin'.
Oh, your
My
VPN.
Yes.
Damn.
Because I need to be in Brazil to watch Drag Race.
I don't have your IP address then. Dang.
No, you got someone in Brazil's IP address.
Yeah, well, thanks for listening to the show this week. Head on over to houseofdecline.com to check out all our comics. There's a lot of free ones up. There's 3 comic series up on houseofdecline.com/comics. You can check out everything Alex has made. You can check out all our podcast episodes there as well. And listen in next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.